So no matter where you are, no matter when you are, good morning. It's been a while, friends. I don't have coffee today because I'm in a location where having coffee is frowned upon. I am in the Michigan state capitol. Right now I'm in Heritage Hall. You can see behind me we have the Senate of the state of Michigan. And so, for example, started off here, Michigan state capitol, ended up over here in Heritage Hall, and soon enough we'll be going across the street to we're going to Heritage Hall next, rather. Right now, I'm in Binsfield, where the Senate would meet. But we started off right here in the Michigan State Capitol, here in Lansing, and I thought that was pretty cool. Can't have a drink inside of this room, though, so no coffee for me today. I already had it, don't worry. So let's start it off. It's COP29. So if you've had me before, you know what COP is. COP is a global environmental summit held with all the countries every year. This is the 29th annual, hence COP29. And I found this really interesting. So there is a beer from Singapore that is recycled sewage. Now, the reason why is the location that this beer is specifically from is from an area, and I'll show you where, that's mostly important to understand, is they are from an area that does not get fresh natural water. They have to actually import it from other countries and other surrounding areas. So it's really important that they have this availability. They actually recycle rainwater a lot of the times. This is coming from their sewage water, and I think that's really cool. It's a limited run of beer. So yeah, the island country has no major natural fresh water source of its own. It collects rainfall, imports waters from northern neighbors, removes salt from seawater. So they're used to doing this type of business. They're used to being able to take and remove things from the actual recycled water sources. So I like that one of the people that works for the National Water Agency of Singapore says it's a gimmick, but it works. But I thought that's pretty interesting. Any way you can find people to get into recycling and understand resources, and the fact that there's a large population of like almost 49% of the world does not have access to clean, fresh drinking water. And yeah, obviously this isn't water, but it's a way to recycle water so that more people receive clean, fresh drinking water that was not recycled. So I wanted to shout that out because it's important to understand what COP is. It's a really important conference held every year of all the nations going and figuring out ways they can be better environmentally. And I found this one really interesting, so I wanted to share it. So I talked about this one in my classroom. So if you're not in my class anymore, Texas approved the optional. Now, it's very important I use this language. When it says optional, it's a little misleading because it's optional in the way if you can opt out of this class. So in elementary schools in Texas moving forward, if it goes through one more passing, they voted to approve it already. But it will incorporate Bible lessons from the Christian Bible, not all Bibles, the Catholicism, Christian, whatever version you want to say is Bible in elementary students' classrooms. So kindergarten through fifth grade will now be teaching parts of the Christian or Catholic faith using Bible lessons. A lot of people feel this is unconstitutional, separation of church and state. This country was founded literally on the idea of, freedom of religion was like one of the main, if not, I argue it is the main reason that this country was founded from the people who immigrated over to be the new settlers. And with that, I think it's really important that we put highlights on stories like this. I mean, this is major. This is all over the news. I would suggest doing your own research on this. Other states might be going for it too. I looked into some of the lessons, and in like kindergarten, they're going to be reviewing like the paintings of the Last Supper or teaching the Golden Rule. Fifth grade's going to review the painting of the Last Supper with Jesus and his disciples. Kindergartners are going to use the teachings of Jesus to teach the Golden Rule, which I learned without the teachings of Jesus. And I like one of the things that's really interesting is when the parents of the students say, it's our students, we should have the choice what they're learning in schools. Yes, but that's usually not about religion. You take them to church or to Sunday school or Bible study if you want them to learn about religion. Public schools is not meant for religious purposes, and I'll stand by that till the end of time. So this is very frustrating as a human, as an educator, and as an American, that people are going to be forcing these religious views onto people who might not follow the same ones and not offering the other views or other religions to be taught as well in the same aspect. It's just frustrating, friends. So I wanted to shout out the fact that in Michigan, we're putting a huge focus on the Native American population. I'm not going to break this story down too much because there's some gruesome, violent parts about how many women of Native American heritage experience not just abuse, but like much worse things. On average, it was, I believe, 51% of Native American women have experienced abuse, if not more. Yeah, 84. That's every 4 in 5 Native Americans and Alaskan Native women. And that percentage goes to 50 for a much more gruesome offense, and down only to like 38% for an even worse, like things like abductions and things. So it's I'm glad the state of Michigan, the state level, local level, and other levels are working with the Native American resistance program. So the Native American they have the Missing or Murdered Indigenous Peoples Task Force is the organization that is now going to be teaming up with legislative and actual law officials in our state, and I think that's really important and really cool, especially right now during National Native American Heritage Month. It should be all the time that we're focusing on people not being abused, much worse things, or abducted, but I'm glad to see this being fully brought into the light and actually being worked on with task force. That makes me very happy to read that news. So that's a big local, smaller local. Dexter Schools is working on a $245 million proposal to renovate their schools, and they actually have a breakdown of like new playgrounds, transitioning areas, removal of construction from areas that's needed, new indoor and outdoor athletic community spaces, things like that, upgrade to theater and arts. They also break it down by where and how much. The important part of this is it would not be placed on the taxpayers in the community of Washtenaw community, and especially that of the town of Dexter. It would actually be a bond, so that meaning being proposed to the state of Michigan, the state of Board of Education, to fund that. So it'll be interesting. Hopefully that passes. As you could probably imagine, I'm always pro getting improvements on different schools around our local areas. It's always really important. So I always want to see that happening. We got it in Ann Arbor Public Schools the past few years, as you might know, from finally having air conditioning and heating in some of our older buildings. So always a huge positive when you see other schools fighting for it, and hopefully they're able to actually achieve it. The last thing I want to do, I don't have a tab for it, so I'm going to go back to the map. Oh, lights turned off. Hopefully you can still see me. I'll finish this video very quickly. I was going to say, Red Wings, not doing as hot as they need to be. Lions, probably going to win the Super Bowl. With that, friends, like, subscribe, comment. It's spooky in here. I'm going to get out of here. Have a wonderful day, my friends, and I'll see you next time.